Very good morning, my dear students. I hope all are fine. My dear students, welcome to the 8th Standard Science online classes. In the previous class, we have discussed about conservation of plants and animals. In that, we have discussed about flora, fauna, and then conservation of plants and animals and their importance, deforestation, causes of deforestation, and as well as consequences of deforestation we have discussed right now. So in this class also we are going to discuss about some more informations regarding the conservation of plants and animals. My dear students, so very important concept, that is we call it as endemic species. What is that? So, endemic species is nothing but those are the species of plants or animals, or a group of plants or animals found only in a particular area and they are not found in all the areas. This is we call it as endemic species. For example, can you give me the examples for that? If you take the polar bear, so that we will be find out in the polar regions only. Is it right? Where the climatic situation is very cold, extreme cold, in that region only we will be find out the endemic or polar bear, right now. So same like that, the wild mango is also one kind of plant, so that we will be find out in a particular area. And flying squirrel, so it is also one kind of endemic fauna, or it will be found out in a particular area. So Indian gained squirrel, so the squirrel of the Indian gained squirrel, so that we will be find out in a Indian country only, but it is not available in the other countries. Like that, so only particular ಏರಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನು, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಎಂಡಮಿಕ್ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್. ವಿಚ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, so endemic species is nothing but those species of plants and animals found in only in a particular area. So only a group of plants that we will be find out in a particular area, or a group of animals that we will be find out in a particular area, that is we call it as endemic species. Whatever the available animals, these animals do not available or do not present in everywhere, only in a specific region or specific place only we will be find out such a kind of organisms or animals or plants. So this is we call it as endemic species. So some pictures also is there. So there is a wild mango. So mango is also one kind of Indian fruit. So this will be do not available in other countries. But if it is available also means it is in a very less in number, because some of the environmental changes do not allow the growing of mango plants in other countries. So even the environment is also play a major role to control the all the biological activities. Hence the mango is a best example. This will be play a major role, which means that environment will be play a major role to control the all the proper growing of plants and animals. So endemic species is nothing but what? Only a particular or a species of plants that we will be present in a particular area, and these are all do not available in our surroundings or anywhere. So this kind of species or a group of animals, we call it as endemic species. I hope you understand this one. Then the very important one, that is wildlife sanitary. So what do you mean by wildlife sanitary? Yes. So wildlife sanitary is nothing but so where the animals are protected, and without any disturbance of them or their habitat. What do you mean by habitat, children? Yes, habitat is nothing but the organisms that will be survival freely without damaging of their privacy. Without damaging of their privacy. Such a type of an area we call it as habitat. Okay, so wildlife sanctuaries is nothing but these are a specific area or specific area. This will be entirely protected by the animals in that area. Completely human beings activities is prohibited, absence, because this will be that wildlife sanctuaries is specially meant or it is a reserved place for increasing of the endangered or endemic species organisms. Hence, we do not disturb their habitat. So that's why these wildlife sanctuaries will be play a major role to avoid the human beings activities or disturbance to the organisms to escape from various climatic changes. And then the one more very important concept, that is we call it as red data book. So what do you mean by red data book? Dear students, red data book is nothing but it is a document. So it is a document. So this will be very helpful to record the or documenting the rare and endangered species of animals, plants, fungi, or as well as some local subspecies in different countries. So this red data book will be play a major role to store the endemic species or a endangered species. So what do you mean by endangered species? Endangered species is nothing but it is a available in very less in number. Available in a very less in number. So such a kind of animals that we will be call it as a endangered species. So this entire endangered species will be covered or will be documented by the red data book. This red data book will be play a major role to protect all these endangered species. Okay, I hope you understand the information regarding the red data book right now. So this red data book will be provides central information for studies and monitoring the programs for the endangered species and their habitats. So this red data book will be provides a proper information regarding their organisms life cycle, organisms anyone or endangered organisms life cycle or habitat and their lifestyle. So based on this red data book we will be create an artificial environment for the endangered species to increase their population. Have you understand now? So each red data book will be deals a specific group of animals or plants. So which means this each and every animals details or the endangered organisms details that will be recorded in the red data book. Hope you understand. So next, the national parks. So what is the main function of the national parks and what do you mean by national park? Yes, dear students, national parks is also the areas reserved for wildlife and in that the organisms can freely use the habitats and as well as natural resources. So some of the national parks is also available in our country as well as in our state also. For example, Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest in India. So Satpura is one of the kind of area. So in that one forest, it is specifically reserved for the different kinds of wild animals. These wild animals will be freely survival in that forest without human beings disturbance and human beings activity. So this about the national parks. Then endangered animals. So these also we have discussed, that is nothing but endangered animals is nothing but those animals whose numbers are very less, might be free existence or face extinctions, which means very less or day by day that population become decreases. So this is, we call it as endangered animals. And then best example we are going to discuss here, tiger. So tiger is one of the many animals which are slowly diminishing. Diminishing is nothing but very less in number. And so what the government has been taken actions means, so the government will be started to protect the tigers population in our country. So to overcome from this tigers less number of, the government will be started one project, that is what we call it as tiger project. So do you know when it will be established? So what is the main aim of this tiger project, or what about the objectives of this project of tiger? Yes, let us discuss now. So this tiger project will be launched in the year 1973. 1st April 1973, this tiger project will be launched. So what is the main objectives of this tiger project? Yes, the main objective of Project Tiger is to ensure the population of, or increase the population of tigers in India for scientific, economic and cultural and will be ecological values and preserve for all the time. As we know that this tiger is an endangered animal now, so only in all over India only we have only thousands of tigers that we will be find out in a forest. So only thousands means it is in a very less in number. So that's why the government will be started or launched the tiger project. This main objective of the tiger project is ensure the survival of tiger population or increase the population of tigers. So what are the plans that the government has been planned? See, whatever the areas is there in the reserved forest, in that entire human explosion or human activities is removed, and even to restore the natural ecosystem, this reserved forest. So in this area, the government will be try to create a naturally, or we call it as restore the natural ecosystem. So trying to restore the natural ecosystems, and then this will be very helpful to increase the population of tigers. And the people, those who are near to the reserve forest, so that people or the government is planned to shift their villages and the different areas. Why? Because if the people is there means entirely, or the man is there means entirely, again that reserve forest or the habitat become disturbed. So to avoid the disturbance, so again, is there any villages or the people's houses will be present in that nearby the reserve forest, entirely that will be removed or will be shifted from the to the other areas. So these are all the plans the government will be made to increase the population of tigers. So hence now that situation is better as compared to the previous years. My dear students, in this class we have discussed about the endangered animals and the project of tiger, or the tiger and red data book, and then one more very important concept, that is wildlife conservation. So is there any doubts regarding these topics? Just text me. Stay home, stay healthy. Thank you. Jai Shri Gurudev.